A German analyst suggested recently that there are two kinds of states in the world, or you could call them nation states. One is sovereign, and the other is states with limited sovereignty. And what makes a state in the world today sovereign? Nuclear weapons. If you have nuclear weapons, you are truly sovereign. But if you don't, what if these missiles work and we start losing aircraft? What if the strikes hit some ships at sea? And again, people want to sink a ship. You don't need to sink these ships in order to make them irrelevant. You put a big enough hole in the flight deck on an aircraft carrier, the aircraft carrier is finished. You don't have to sink these things. So we got to start thinking in terms of how much damage can they do to the fleet? We don't know. And now I think the Navy has responded by sailing 1,400 kilometers away from the Persian Gulf. Smart move. The problem is that limits your effectiveness.
Right.
We need to take that into consideration. And we saw that during the Kosovo Air Campaign when the Navy discovered that there were two diesel subs. We summoned a British and an American nuclear attack submarine, two of these submarines that sat right outside the location where the two diesel subs were in harbor. And they watched that the entire time, but that was not enough. The carrier battle group and surface action groups sailed far, far away from the coast of Yugoslavia or the coast of, you can't say Serbia, so we'll just say Yugoslavia. The Navy's not stupid. They're aware of this, and they understand that if they could hit one of these ships, particularly an aircraft carrier, people are going to say, well, geez, these are really vulnerable. Well, two things. First of all, the Iranian action has been stated very clearly. If they are attacked at all, they will not exercise restraint as they have in the past. In other words, they will respond with whatever they have that can reach the targets that are within range. That means they will use their ballistic missile arsenal, and they will attack bases where our aircraft are located, where we have radars, where we have air and missile defense. They will look for command and control hubs, presumably in Qatar and other places in the Gulf. They will attack ships if they think they can strike them. They will do enormous damage, obviously, to Israel, which they see as the principal culprit, and justifiably so, in organizing the entire operation. I mean, if it were not for Israel, would any of this happen? I think the answer is certainly not. So I think we know what the Iranians will do. And how long can they do it? I think that we'll run out of missiles long before they do. So what are we going to do at the beginning? You're going to have a massive, massive assault in the first 24 hours. It's going to be unlike anything that we've seen, certainly since 1990 or 91, rather. So that's what we're going to see on our side, and they'll respond as best they can with whatever they have. So I think it's short of the use of a nuclear weapon, everything is on the table and everything will be used. Now, right now, I don't know what I haven't polled the people in the White House. I don't know what they're suggesting. I don't know what kind of operational review any of the plans for this coming campaign have been subjected to in the National Security Council staff and who's weighed in. What we do know is that Israel first is the preeminent concern, and that this is considered to be a unique opportunity, not in the history of the United States, but in the history of Israel, to essentially annihilate its most serious competition, strategic competition, and strategic opponent. That's number one. This is unique. And right now, Mr. Netanyahu has absolute control over what we do, which is why you're going to see this air campaign commence in a few days. So if you're an Israeli, or if you are an Israeli firster inside the White House or in Congress, you've got to go. You absolutely have to do this, because this condition for Israel may not last, and Israel's position in the world could change. In other words, they have to consider the terrible possibility that the American people say, we're not going to do this in the future. So now's the time to do it. If you're ever going to do it, get it done now. And I think that's really what's behind all of this. A German analyst suggested recently that there are two kinds of states in the world, or you could call them nation states. One is sovereign, and the other is states with limited sovereignty. And what makes a state in the world today sovereign? Nuclear weapons. If you have nuclear weapons, you are truly sovereign. But if you don't, your sovereignty is actually limited. That's the real message that we're sending to the Iranians and everybody else in the world. If you don't have access to nuclear weapons that can deter an attack by the United States, you're not really a sovereign country.